Ye dinkum, good day, my lads. Hello, my dear ones. Always an extreme pleasure, even though you know none of us go anywhere. I'm always around. All you have to do is think of us, and we're right here, right? That's the power of the mind. In the mental worlds, you move by thought. You basically move by thought everywhere, basically, if you think about it. Wait a minute. If you think about it, you think... You know, one has to go to, if you observe, then we move by thought. But thought is how you move. The emotions, of course, is the driver of thought. How bad do you want to walk down that road? Or how bad do you want to do this? Or how bad do you want that mental image to become reality, you know? But I hope you're all doing well. Let's see, Jen B just handed me this. A member named Logan sent this in. Alternative medicine doubles risk of cancer patients dying. Study. Oh my God. This is interesting. Alternative medicine. All right. So that, first of all, number one, none of you ever take that alternative medicine. We're not alternative medicine. We're not medicine, period. So this is the court of heavy-handedness that these people, you know, when you're the number one killer of humans on the planet, using your theories of health, there's a problem with that. So generally when you see people like that, they point the finger back. It's like what's going on in our political party. Everybody's pointing the finger back at the other, particularly, you know, one side over another, and it's like, what? You know, and that's what you see here. This is the kind of shit, sorry kids, this is the kind of crap that I've lived with for 50 years, and this needs to be shoved right down their throat. Because these people are killing people. They have no clue about health. They have no clue about foods. They have no clue about anything. Their theory of diseases are so riddled with stupidity, it's unbelievable. Doubles risk of cancer patients dying. I can't wait to read this. Cancer patients who choose to treat their disease with alternative medicine. This is from the American Cancer Society. Well, who started the American Cancer Society? Anybody know? EU's big three agreed to establish dollarless trade with Iran. Interesting. Well, you know what? The groups I've been running in, we've been talking about chip money for 30 years, you know. Homeopathy is pseudoscience, Russia's top science body. Right. You know, I say this. Proof is in the pudding. Right? The team identified 280 people with breast, prostate, lung, and colorectal cancer who had turned to unproven treatments. So you're going to use the chemotherapy, which is the number one killer of humans, is chemotherapy, I'm sure by now, way over cancer itself. So we're going to use your acid treatment, your Drano treatment, which is not proven, and is proven to kill, yet you're saying our methods aren't proven. This idiocy and this stupidity is continuing to rank high. This is the kind of people that lock themselves into hell and stay there and point the finger and say, everybody come in with me. You know, this is the stupidity of it. Researchers who? You know, this is the sort of thing. When it came to colorectal, only 33% of the people using alternative medicine survived 5 years after their diagnosis, compared to 79% of those who use conventional treatments. Bullshit. You know what? 79. So what they're saying here is that 80% of the people with colorectal cancer that take conventional treatments, which is chemo, radiation, and stuff, live. Would anybody like to challenge that one? Let's go to Cancer Treatment Centers of America and look at their, which is oncology, and let's look at their success rate of colorectal cancers. And I don't think you're going to find 80%. This is the kind of lies that you see constantly out there. Now, I'll say this. They're right in one way. All I've seen in, and I don't want to use alternative because alternative medicine is, yeah, they're probably right in alternative medicine, but we don't teach or work with alternative medicine. We totally use the sciences of this planet. Chemistry, physics, and detoxification is a natural process that the body goes through itself. we're only using that word because all we do is we're going after the body in an alkaline hydrating method, and we're using herbs to enhance the structure function of cells. That's all we're doing. That's it, So we're not alternative medicine anything. We're not alternative nothing. These jokers are the ones that are alternative. If God can't take you and fix you up with the natural products of nature, then you probably need to see a medical doctor. The problem we have in our field is a lack of understanding what cancer is, and they don't even know. Remember that. That's just a word they use. They haven't a clue what cancer is. Keep that in mind. At least the natural health people are understanding it more. Those of you that follow us understand it almost completely. So, let me ask you this. Is a tumor cancer? No. Is a cyst cancer? No. What do you have to get to determine you have cancer? And this is how they work, right? This is how they work. Cancer is nothing but a damaged cell beyond no return, no repair, right? That's what it is. And only a pathologist can state it and tell you that, right? That's all it is. A tumor's not cancer, lymph fluid's not cancer, acids aren't cancer, but what acids do to a cell becomes a mutated, damaged cell. They just happen to use the word cancer with that, which is allowing you to think cancer is a whole angry, mad disease that's coming in you. It's going to ravish you from head to toe. The unconsciousness of that, the idiocy of that, to a high intellectual modality doesn't look too good. And when everybody wakes up to the stupidity of this sort of stuff like this, you can't buy into crap like that. They would love to condition your mind and make a socialistic world out of this. They're trying to make socialism out of America. To make socialism out of America, I've said this before, you've got to go to Arlington Cemetery and spit on every grave there. Because that's in effect, Bernie Sanders, what you're doing. You're spitting on all the graves that people have made this a republic so people could have freedom, free speech. There's not free speech in socialism. There's not free anything in socialism except to keep you halfway on the grid. No, you just trace up socialism and find out. Those are totally of the negative forces. They're not God. Is not, your higher ways at all. Come to control. But anyway, this sort of crap that you see out there comes all the time like that. Marijuana effective in treating pain and other ailments, but some science still lacking. I mean, there's all kinds of pseudoscience and studies out there that you just stupid stuff. It's enough to say that it boils down to this sort of thing. You only have two sides of chemistry. And you have a whole system in your body that the allopathic community does not understand whatsoever. And if you don't understand the lymphatic system, yet you're calling all these cancers lymphomas, it kind of puts you at odds to make these type of claims. Now, one of the problems in natural health, there's no question about it, not alternative medicine, that's what they call us because they want to be number one. Who was here first? Botanicals or pharmaceuticals? That's a no-brainer. The natural health people have always been here. Natural physicians have always existed. Even the early medical doctors were more natural physicians than they were medical physicians. So to put the word medical on us is only your way of trying to somehow jurisdiction yourself into our field and control it or chastise it or whatever you want to do. It's idiocy. The problem we have in our field is the same they have in their field. Our field doesn't understand the lymph system either. We're the ones that introduced it in its entire, or as much as in its entirety as possible. So when you don't understand the lymph system, whether you're dealing in pharmaceuticals or you're dealing in natural products and your focus is more tissue regeneration, the cause of these things is still problematic for you, so you're still treating. Our field still treats symptoms. Now, we don't call them diseases. Well, some people do, I guess, because they're trapped into that idiocy. And the medical community has tried to make disease is common language. So then you're tripped up using common language and then come after the practitioner. It is a mess out there. And someone with a golden wand needs to straighten it out and put people in their right place. But it's enough to say that our field is very lacking. We treat also with all kinds of crap. And to some extent, this finding is true, to some extent. And that is the fact that look at the Budwick. You might as well close up the doors, because anytime you do a dairy product, I don't care what you mix it with, and whatever biochemistry theory you have is idiocy. Only the lipid side of that. And that, I've seen people come in here doing the Budwick with their tumors exploding. And I don't even know how that got on the market. Then we have urine therapy, we have stool therapy, we have all kinds of crap. There's people out there taking turpentine. Well, how do you think that looks to someone like a medical community? Even though they're insane, they kill people right and left. They don't even know what's up. This grandmother of a person that works here had a stroke over the last week. Well, any first year med student would have said stroke, all the identifying signs of a stroke. Took them 3 days before they could nail down a stroke. And it's like, excuse me, first year med student, stroke, right off. I mean, obviously, all kinds of, it is amazing the idiocy and the money that they're raking in. Well, we don't know whether it's a stroke or not. We need to do a lot of tests. And then, of course, it knocked out her ability to swallow, so she can't swallow. You have to tell her to swallow. Well, that means a feeding tube immediately, right? Oh, we need to run a bunch of tests to make sure she can't swallow. It's like, oh. I mean, the idiocy of this sort of level is got to be terminated or drastically changed on this planet, because we can no longer go down a path of this level of stupidity, this level of ripping our fellow man off, this level of killing our fellow man, and this level of harming our fellow man. But in all due respect, our field is also lacking. Now, our field, we sit on the pinnacle of it. We sit on the pinnacle of the answers, and it's still difficult. You know, when you're facing an agglomeration, a systemic agglomeration of the lymph system, there's no magic wand to that one. You know, and you've got tumors popping all over the place. There's no magic wand. There's no magic wand for anybody. The medical doctor said, we'll just burn them out. We'll just fry up that body, and if they survive, good. If they don't, next. I mean, it is idiocy at its greatest. So it's difficult for an extremely stupid modality to come out with even extremely stupid stuff. And to cave in on homeopathy, it just shows you this is pseudoscience in and of itself. Homeopathy has had hundreds of years of and the Queen, of course, we know uses it. The right homeopathist. The problem is you have bad in every field. The problem with medical, you're bad all the way around because you don't understand anything about what's going on. That sets you at odds. You know, and if you don't know and you're trying to treat what you don't know with toxic chemicals, that becomes extremely problematic. I was listening to this commercial, and this is a new drug out. I can't remember the name. But I'm going to tell you, I bet the commercial cost them $100,000 just for the time it took to tell you the side effects. And it was not pretty. It was long. I've never seen a list of side effects so long. And they artfully tried to hide it and move some of them to another place. But in all, they had to go over it all. And it was like friggin' scariest thing I ever heard. This is a pharmaceutical. I don't know if the FDA approved it or had allowed to get on the market, but that's the sort of thing we're up against. Criminal FDA, criminal pharmaceutical companies, criminalized allopathic communities, and these are the people sucking up people's money, throwing them in. I mean, you've got like local here, they're trying to pay off medical debt. So they're getting people to donate. They're trying to get with the medical doctors around here and see if they will come down off of their things. Oh my God. It's a mess. When health is so simple to understand, and each and every one of you hold the key to your own health. You know, this is very serious. What you put in your mouth, what you put on your skin, what you breathe. This is all chemistry. And chemistry has two sides of it. If it's acidic, your body's going down. If it's alkaline, you're going to stay healthy, light, and having a big smile on your face. Okay, so could you explain any helpful hints on handling the detox cold and flu-like symptoms while working a full-time job without slowing down the detox? Well, I think most of you now have had a cold and flu-like symptom and during this program, and the best thing to do is just keep blowing through it. The worst thing to do is stop it, in my opinion. Now, sometimes it can rat you out. I remember I was doing a radio show talking about the grape fast, and this old dentist was listening, him and his wife, and he was a client of mine, actually. He was an old retired dentist. And so him and his wife decided to do a 10-day grape diet. Well, that threw him right into a cold and flu-like scenario. And he called me about the 5th day, I think, on it. And he's draining. I mean, he's draining and draining. So I'm laughing. You know, he's coming in telling me buckets. And I said, buckets, huh? He said, where the hell is all this stuff coming from? I said, you're the dentist. It's your head, man. And it's just pouring out of him. I said, you're getting tired of it? And this is about a week, going on to the 2nd week of this, you know. And he said, this is unbelievable. He says it's slowing up, but I said, you want to stop it? He said, yeah, I can't take it anymore. I said, just go out and have you a cooked meal. Go out and eat you some crap. But cooked vegetables, steamed vegetables generally stops that. You just have to lower your energy and get more on the acid side of chemistry, and it stops your cleansing. I mean, right there's proof right there. I mean, we can prove everything we do just by its own action, you know. So it's pretty cool to see that. So you can control detox to a certain extent. But I'm always saying, what you don't allow to come out now has to come out tomorrow. So sometimes if it rats you out, just keep pushing through it as much as you can and then break it if you want. But I've always liked the idea of going as deep as you can into this. Some of it's gnarly, you know, it pulls out some old haunts, no question about it. But simple cold and flu-like symptoms are given. I mean, I used to come down every winter with it. Cold, I didn't know cold was alkaline, and alkaline was detoxifying to the body, create an anionic environment. I didn't know that. And no one else does either. Oh, people catch cold in the winter. Why? And what is a cold and flu-like symptom? So it's just detoxification at its best. If you can get the sinuses to drain, you can't even know how lucky you are. You've got people out there that can't even get their friggin' sinuses to drain. If you can't get your sinus to drain, of course, more pressure, because every day cells are constantly creating waste. So you have all that addition added to already stagnation. Amazingly, it takes so many years to see some of these, and this is why, if you understand this whole thing, you begin to see why some of these chronic levels are so difficult to deal with. Easier to get the acute and subacute levels for sure, but these chronic levels, holy crap, but mostly antibiotic use, the bacteria in the body is at a minimal, so you don't have anybody helping you break down systemic acid, so there are 3 pHs, remember that? So everybody's feeling 3H pain all through their body. Bacteria, at least will break them down to 6, at least you don't feel 6. You don't feel estrogen or testosterone. And as someone was talking, we were talking about acids, we were talking about minor acids. There's no question that minor acids, all chemistry is essential or it shouldn't exist. You know, to me, you don't have anything that exists that isn't part of the scheme of the whole. Although you have species come and go all the time. It's almost like, well, I don't like this one, let me change it and try something else. Is there any slight difference? And matter of fact, with a cold and flu, when you're detoxing on raw, you don't get that dragged out feeling like you do on a detox symptom when you catch it. You know what I mean? When you're on raw and stuff, you still have energy. People go to work with them. They're just draining. If it gets you down, though, you need it. You really need to get it, and that'll get you cleaned out. The next one, if you have another one, it'll be a lot less, and pretty soon you'll never have them again. I can't even remember the last cold and flu-like symptom I had. It was something I created. Oh, yeah, no, I was craving a little malt one day. This was years ago. I was craving a little hot fudge chocolate malt. And it's like, oh my God, that sounded so good. So in our mall down here, there's a little ice cream shop. So I went down there one day and I said, do you have little milkshakes for babies, kids? He goes, yeah. I go, that's all I want. I want a little bitty thing. Just want to taste it. That's all I want. So he fixed me a hot fudge malt and a little bitty thing, right? So I'm a little bitty thing, right? So I'm savoring every little morsel, right? Oh, so by the time I get out to my truck, I've got a sore throat. I knew immediately, damn, dairy products, they're mucus forming. So I gave myself a sore throat. So then, but if I did not know that, I didn't know I did it, mucus forming food, dairy number one, right? Cheese, all that, and bam. So if I didn't know any better, I'd have called a medical doctor up and said, hey, buddy of mine, I said, hey man, you got some antibiotics? I just caught a sore throat in the mall. I need something because I got to see my clients. I knew I did that. So what did I do? I went home, got me an apple, ate an apple, and within a couple of minutes, no more sore throat. So, I mean, when you see that, you realize that mucus, and Eric said a lot about this, mucus is at the core of tumors, at the core of obstructions and plugs and things like that. You see it in the lungs, you see it in the bronchi, you see it in the sinuses, you see it in the liver, you see it in the bowels, you see it everywhere, because this is the mucosa, this is systemic lymph, this is the whole thing. So, yeah. Is there any slight difference in detox symptoms versus cold and flu symptoms so that one could know that oneself is detoxing? When you're detoxing, your cold and flu-like symptoms should, like I said, be, you're through it, but it doesn't get you down like before, and you're fever and stuff, and you ache and you hurt. Generally, when you're on raw, you're going through it, but not at that level. You can still have energy, still go to work, stuff like that. If not, then you really needed this bad. But it all is the same. It's all the same. And when you really get savvy with this and you start looking over to diseases, that's what all that is. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then you start to realize, somebody is lost in space. I just didn't want to catch a cold or was run down during the detox. That way I could respond to coworkers, no, I don't have a cold, I am detoxing. I'd say that anyway, because that's what it is anyway, no matter what level it is. It's just when you're doing raw on it, you're doing everything right with it, and you're on the herbs, you generally don't feel it near as much. Now, what if your cohorts go, I don't want to catch anything? No, come here, sweetie. The importance of a cold and flu-like symptom cannot be underestimated. I can tell you right now, vital. You have to detox. You have to get what's in that's causing your symptom out. This isn't like things that causing your symptom in your body, just take a pharmaceutical and it just makes it vanish. That's stupid. Pharmaceuticals don't make acid just vanish. Most pharmaceuticals are more acids. So that's why the heavy symptomology to pharmaceuticals. They're exacerbating your problem, except for the steroids, which most of them are acidic, but they have their suppressants. Antibiotics are suppressants. The thing is, and most of you skin guys and gals know this, after a while they don't even work and everything is so much worse. You can't suppress. I've said this before. What you suppress today is your nightmare from hell tomorrow. Let me tell you, it's your tumors, it's whatever. You never want to suppress symptoms. You want to understand, why do you have a symptom? What have you been eating? Acid ash foods, which is mucus forming foods? Well, let it clean out, change your diet, get your body straightened out, and then balance out. If you create it again, you know how to fix it. You always will know how to fix yourselves and your children. You guys are the doctors. And I'm going to tell you, no offense to us men, but the females have always been the healers of the family. The females are the healers, guys. They're your love principles. You ever seen a female oncologist? I would never want to be married to one because you would have a very cold relationship. All the female oncologists I know are as cold as ice. You got to be cold to give a kid chemo. You got to be one cold mother, because if you're a medical doctor and you don't know and I'm telling you, a lot of oncologists do not know the pH of their chemos. That's how stupid. If you don't know what you're doing with chemo and you're an oncologist, you ought to quit, because the karma is going to be pretty intense. Remember, cause and effect, and I feel sorry for you guys at one level, because karma is going to get a bunch of you guys in a bad way, and I know you're doing it unaware, but karma doesn't have awareness to it. Same thing with me. I can create karma out the butt and not realize it, and then I have the blowback. That's why you want to be awake and learn what you create is your karma. You know, every movement is karmatic, because cause and effect is karmatic. You reap what you sow. But it's just the universal law of physics. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. Hello? It's no mystery. It's no voodoo, Christians. Jesus said it too. You know, simply put, what you put out, you get back. You want love, you put love out. You want anger, you put anger out. You know, and you get it right back. You want to pull out in front of somebody in your car? Just keep watching. Someone's going to pull out right in front of you. I see it every day. You know, you reap what you sow. And the same thing with foods. You're just reaping what you're sowing with the type of food you're eating. It's if they didn't tell you that. Of course, they don't know that, because can't imagine them knowing and then continuing down the road they're doing. That would be double karma. To confirm, explain that all the toxins removed in detox are not contagious. Nothing is alive, absolutely. Nothing is contagious. If you get some bacteria or some microbe that's involved, which I can't imagine what else besides bacteria, but they're not after tissue. I don't know where people get off on that. Nature has to have the cleansers. And that's exactly what bacterium, fungus, it depends on the type of chemistry you're dealing with, or whether you get a fungi involvement or you get a bacterial involvement. But to kill the messengers and leave the acids and the cause to blow back to the cells is what you're seeing in allopathy. Well, what happens is long-term use of this, and the long-term use of antibiotics systemically kills your bacteria. You get in deep trouble. Like again, fibromyalgia, lupus, Lyme's are just symptoms of systemic acidosis from people or families who have used antibiotics in their course of their lives. Not good. So it's that. But you got, nothing's alive that way, but you could have live bacteria coming out of you. Absolutely could. But they're just going to go in and go after somebody else's crap. Remember, it's about the terrain. If your terrain is clean, it's like a woman we talked the other day in your monthly cycles. If you're clean, you spot. If you're lymphatically involved, you bleed a lot trying to clean. You know, and it's just all in your terrain. What has been your diet since you've been in your mother? What's been your mother's diet? Blah, 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 and on down that whole field with that. Lastly, I often wondered with a cold or a detox, you remember they're both the same. Someone says, I catch a cold. You caught a detox is what you caught. They're all the same, no matter what. They're all the same. How your body responds to these is what level are you on the detox program? How far have you cleaned yourself? If you go right, I know people that have just started on the diet raw, just started the night before or the day before, all raw. Matter of fact, I had a case where just within hours of starting the detox program, the fruit and everything, they went into a big detox. They probably are going to feel that one. But if you've had a little time under your belt, they get less and less and less and little. Same thing with bronchitis and asthma and things like, or pneumonia and stuff like this. If you've had bronchitis before, you could expect it again. But this time, understand what's going on. You don't stop or allow this congestion to stay in. You bring it out, because if you don't, you got to go through it again. Your body's always going to remove that within itself it doesn't want, whether it's tumors, mucus, acids, whatever. All right, if I am never able to cough up phlegm for enough to spit it out, and that is the problem. You see, when you get heavily acidic, this is called a cationic environment. It's a heavily agglomerated environment. It's an environment where things become dehydrated and hardened. So you get these plugs, you get this mucus stuck interstitially, and you're coughing and coughing and coughing. And there are herbs, thank you, Lord. There are herbs that loosen this up. Hence the 3-lung tea. That's, you got hard mucus, that's why I have the 3-lung tea. Sip on it throughout the day. Fenugreek, pleurisy, mullein, anti-inflammatory, loosening up hardened sputum, things like that. And that's what you want. Thank you, Lord. Thanks for our beautiful pharmacopoeia of the botanicals. We don't have a list of side effects a mile long that kills people. But yeah, I mean, you can, this is the whole idea of hydration and why you see what happens to people in an acidic medium. Why you see tumors, why people get hard and stiff and tight and swollen. These are all signs of acidosis, not diseases, acidosis. There's signs, symptoms of acidosis as there's symptoms of alkalosis. But there's also symptomology of health, and that is the balance where the alkaline side dominates. And that you find in most fruits, berries, melons, and vegetables. In their ashes. Let me say that. All right. Now, phlegm for enough to spit or cough it out, and thus have to swallow it. I hate that. Try to get it out. If you can't, get on that 3-lung tea, stuff like that, or the lung formulas. It'll start breaking up the sinuses and stuff more. Fruits, of course, over vegetables by far. Fruits, lemons, anything that's heavily astringent, which would be your acid fruits. Very astringent. Grapefruits, they'll start pulling and loosening and hydrating all this stuff out, and then you'll cough it up. Real strong, dark greens can do the same thing. They got to be very compacted. Yeah, with most of the toxins totally exit the body through the kidneys if filtering. Good point. Absolutely. Or skin. Or you're going to ooze out of the belly button. Oh, or you're going to tonsil, lymph nodes, ears. All these ports or holes can ooze when the body gets full. You know? Or some are absorbed right back into the body. No, your body's trying to eliminate these things. If you swallow, it's got to go right out the canal there. But therefore, it left my lungs but went back into my body. Well, I mean, you have to... You know, your body's going to try to break it down and digest it up and all that sort of thing, I suppose. Off camera, if you like, as this is a different issue. Mention to the doctor that I have learned what I never was aware of as far as the many planes of God's universe, the various rulers, the cities. I don't have to have that off camera. I'm not afraid to teach the God worlds, guys, because there's so many of you ready to have some fun beyond the days of our lives of the physical world. Even if you're young, the challenge of out-of-body traveling and traveling through the galaxies and the universes, and not just in the physical plane, there are all these other planes with your other bodies. So you'll feel like you moved into another level or another body. You did. And the fun and the closer to consciousness you get, the more free you are to move by thought. So you think it, you're there. I mean, it's amazing. So the cities, I mean, you have, if anyone has been out and been to these different planes, and even in the physical world, there, creation is, the word massive isn't even a word that you could put on it. Massive doesn't even describe creation. There's life everywhere. And we're talking frequencies. There, it's hard to explain, but you remember we talk about chemistry, just the frequencies of electromagnetic energy. And you know how at one level you can see something, but another level of frequency you can, but another animal can. It's like a frequency of hearing. We can hear certain frequencies of sound, and then other frequencies of sound we can't hear. Doesn't mean they don't exist. Remember the old saying, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there, does it still make a noise? This universe, the physical universe, is full dimensionally. In other words, there's frequencies. I knew of evolution. If you want to look up a person, look up Amnik Anik, and look at her story as a walk-in from Venus and talking about the frequency shifts and why we on Earth can't see life forms on other planets that are closer to our arena. all kinds of stuff, guys. There's so much, but there's so much fun because we've lived in this little sheltered physical world so much, and we've intellectualized it, we've tore it up, and now we've toxified it. Now we're losing our form here. So we're here to help get the form back and to excite the senses to go beyond the intellect, because it's narcissistic. It's reached the stage of narcissism and elitism, and it's just destroying the planet. So we need to enter spirituality, which is the balance of thought, or to thought. So these spiritual cities, I want to see what you got to say. They're, here we read a book, spiritual book, the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, whatever. We read it for succor or to impart its ways, right? Some of these worlds, you go to these spiritual temples, which are generally in cities of learning. You walk into the light. I better be careful. Woo. You walk into the light and all your answers come to you that way. It's amazing. Beyond amazing, guys. Love the map he held up. Have learned more from samples of Paul Twitchell's book. This recommendation. Never heard any of this from the nuns or priests in the 8 years of parochial school long ago. And yet they have those Catholic monks that go out into the desert every year, 40 days and 40 nights. They fast and have out-of-body experiences. Nova did a big story on them 20 years ago. You don't hear that in Catholicism. What about these monks that are practicing out-of-body experiences? You talk about out-of-body experiences in Catholicism, they call you the devil. And yet they have a sect there in Catholicism, the monk sect. I don't know what sect it is. And they go out in the desert and they fast. They don't eat for 40 days. And they go into meditations and stuff. This is what? How come we don't hear about that? Is that just for the elitists? Who is that for? It can't be elitist because the elitists don't do that sort of thing. Is there a secret society within these societies? I'm just saying. There's so much kept from the general public. They keep us all ignorant. And we're not. We're opening it up, aren't we, guys? We're opening up all the doors because the spiritual cities, the peoples, the beings, you lose the fear and you start going, oh my God, I've been living this little bitty human life and oh my God. Fun stuff, guys. Fun stuff. We're opening the curtains to the universes. Absolutely. Twitchell, no one I've ever read, human, has ever brought out this amount of information of the God worlds. Ever. I've started this years ago, a huge map of the God worlds. Because religions have bits and pieces in there. There's a lot in the Upanishads, all Bhagavad, they all got stuff to give you hints of dimensions and cities and stuff like this. They all have different hints and stuff of this. So I read through all of this years and years ago. I can't remember all of it, but I was just trying to put together the map of the God worlds. Whoo! Man alive. Man, I'm so glad you're into that because it's amazing and you should never be scared of that. It's no different than driving, say, take your car and I want to go to Las Vegas. I've never been to Las Vegas. So you went to Las Vegas. Oh, look at all the lights in the gambling place. Look at all that. Take that another step. I've never been to the astral world. I've never been to the City of Learning. I've never been to these museums. I've never been to any of these things in the astral world. Even more enhanced, more nirvanic, more joyful, more beautiful, more free within yourself, feeling bigger, more whatever. And that's just the next little world up. And they keep getting bigger. Oh, wow. Unreal, man. Woo! I am so grateful for this new knowledge. Rapunzel, is that the name? Rapunzel, is that? Well, all I can tell you, man, enjoy the ride because it just gets better and better and better. And now this ride's also a little difficult because you have to realize that there's detoxification on all levels. And in spirituality, there's detoxification, because you want to now understand what all of life, where does it come from? And what's the driving force? What's the awareness behind the eyes of a cat? What's the awareness behind the eyes of your horse? What's the awareness behind the eyes of your cow or pig or whatever animal, snake? What's behind those eyes? Who's that awareness? Where's that awareness come from? Does it think? Does it feel? Well, when you understand the God worlds, and I've got that God worlds chart somewhere I made for you guys, you will have a beautiful chart to look at and to know. But you can know where you're at. I don't know, my desk is a mess, I tell you. But I love these God world charts because look, here's one for you. Look at this one. Reduce your risk, right? Can you see who wrote this? Excuse me. Back in 1986, the American Cancer Society said if you go raw, you know, I spoke to a lot of groups of the American Cancer Society, the breast cancer groups, the man-to-man prostate cancer groups. Not one of them has seen this chart. It's old. I used to pull it out and say, anybody ever see this one? That's what I want to put you on, is raw foods. The American Cancer Society said it. Got to be true. But anyway, I wanted to show you the God world chart. But if you have a passion for anything, make it a passion to become more aware of life on all levels. Start listening. Start observing. Start watching. Get out of your mind. Get out of your thoughts. Your mind's not going anywhere. It'll be right here for you. It's just that you're not sitting and occupying your attention predominantly from that point of view. Your point of view now is more infinite. And it'll pull you into areas and cities and places. And I mean, just the mental worlds. To give you an example, the cities, some of the statutes and the beauty in the mental worlds are as tall as the sky. You're talking about massive areas. But remember, everything here is a reflection of there, just in a more coarse and not as beautiful level. But I'm telling you, don't anybody shouldn't be offended with what exists. We should try to discover what does exist. A lot of religions hide to their people truth. You know it, I know it. And that's why spirituality was born. Because spirituality is more who you are, not your belief systems and believing things. Because like I said, most people's belief systems is why you suffer. If you want free and enjoy the truth of yourself and the truth of what life is, don't wrestle with the belief system. Who cares? Who cares? You got to get to the point you don't care anymore about anything, because it's all being handled by the Creator. Believe it or not. If you don't believe me, take a couple of weeks and just be in the now. You know, live in the now. Just keep trying to be more now, more now, more now. How now can you be? And you just be more now, more now, more now. And you watch. Your mind will then become a servant to you. Your life will then open itself up and give you the things that you need. You'll see that hand of God coming in and making everything work out for you. You're not in the way, trying to bump yourself through the unknown. So being awake is always better. Detoxing is the process of cleansing and removing obstructions physically, mentally, and emotionally. That's why we talk about the emotional detox and how that can just rip you apart emotionally. But you know what's on the other side of that? Your freedom. Your freedom is on the other side. Because the only reason when you guys going through the spiritual growths and Fubi and some of the masters are ripping you, just remember the only reason it rips is because you're holding on to it. It's the only reason. You let go. They rip something out of you, all right, let it go, because that's all they're doing is cleaning those haunts out of you that's locked you in this from past lives or whatever that you're carrying around you're unaware of. That's the beauty of it. It starts cleaning you in areas you're unaware of, and so it starts freeing you more and more and more. It's exciting. Becoming more of who you really are, not less. Hello, Dr. Morse. I really enjoy your videos. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm 20 years old. I love you, man. I tell you guys, 20 years old, I love you guys so much. You guys, I feel so, you got my heart, man. You guys, I'm telling you, we're going to get you all better, all right? And for some reason, my blood pressure is having fluctuations. Sometimes it's as high as 150/90, and sometimes it is low. My experience, not good, cerebellum. You know, this is where you get swinging blood pressure. And you'll notice that depends on the day, depends on the kidney function, it just depends on that. But when the cerebellum is inflamed, you'll have one day high blood pressure, one day low. Have you had stiff neck, stiff shoulders, whatever? I can only tell you, get a picture of your eyes, my dear man, and let's take a look. Because swinging blood pressure generally comes from the cerebellum, maybe the mastoids involved. Candle your ears, 3 or 4 candles per ear. Start to get your sinuses. Now to drain these, it's just been my experience. I was thinking about that this morning. It's just what I've seen, and I don't know, but everything is kind of like it's stacked. It's been years for the head to get so involved. So now we have so many head tumors, throat tumors. But you gotta clean the terrain down below. You can't suddenly, there's pathways. You suddenly can't pull a tumor except through black salve. You can't pull a tumor can't find its way out of the head through the lymph pathways when down below is obstructed. It's just common sense. So the closest to the kidneys, if you had a tumor in the prostate or an ovarian tumor or uterine tumor, it'd be so much easier to get rid of than a brain tumor. Same thing, pancreatic tumor or liver tumor, easier. Remember, tumors are not cancer, guys. I was mentioning this earlier. Tumors are not cancer, fluids are not cancer, acids are not cancer, only a cell that's been damaged. And you can have tumors all over your place, like in leprosy and things like that, and not have any cells that are damaged. Or you could have cells in the tumor, and they're gone, see ya. All right, so I'm going to punch a tumor, pull a cell out. I guarantee you it's going to be cancer. If it's not, so what? It will be, because it's just nowhere to go. It's going to be chewed up eventually, so what? And because of that, I'm going to treat your whole body with an acid. Your kids, I'm going to kill them. I'm going to rip them because we have 80% success rate. You do? I've never seen it. I've never seen it. And those kids, there's one kid that the parents have been keeping alive on chemo, had not, long dead, and they think that this is their success. Right? Wrong. Those kids that have success that stay alive is because their parents is half-assed trying to do something, keep their kids alive. Narcissistic bastards. Yeah, here we go. Here's your proof. Feels like everything is like a roller coaster. Cerebellum, man. And no. Hot and cold compresses. Work on these neurolymphatic points down your spine. Get your bowels opened up. GI broom, stomach and bowels. Get the kidneys to filter. I mean, go after this because this isn't good. I'll tell you why. At 20 years old with this, this is a setup from MS, Lou Gehrig's or Parkinson's. Using their names. No. You want to get out of this one because this is the cerebellum. Equilibrium, dizzy, vertigo. You stop dropping your feet. You know, all kinds of things can start happening with this. No. And then you've got the eye, the optic nerves come in here. I mean, just go on and on and on here, guy. If you're a male, I don't know if you're a male or female, but whoever, get no. That's proof right there. It feels like you're on a roller coaster. Sometimes my mood is good and other times I'm depressed. Well, all right, so what's all in here? Parathyroid. depression, calcium utilization, thyroids, cold. Now you got the pituitary, the pineal, insomnia for the pineal. Pituitary, you're either tall, short, women have irregular monthly cycles, kids wet the bed, you can go on and on and on and on and on. Adrenals are slammed, all the other glands are slammed. So yeah, big deal. Big deal here. Glad you wrote this in. Big deal. Doc did a TSH test which came out with the value of 2.5. That's not too bad. He said you're fine. Yeah. Oh my God. Now, he's checking the TSH. Your blood pressure is swinging, and you feel like you're on a roller coaster, and yet he checks your TSH. Well, I mean, I would check the TSH just to look at the pituitary, only because of an effect of what you're going through right now, only because of the effect of this congestion and acidosis. Currently, but what's the T4, T3s? You know, see how does those all fit together? Currently facing brain fog. Oh yeah, man. Upper circ, brain and nerve, too, you got to do. Also get on the kidney formulas, the lymphatic formulas, or something. Get on your kits and get moving on. This one is very important because right now they're just seeing the blood pressures going up and down. They're getting, but what? When this gets worse, this is only 20. This isn't good, guys. This is not good. Handle this one. Handle this one. All right? Anxiety, that's your adrenals. Excuse me. Excuse me. Adrenals are always down. To have any lymphatic problem, remember your adrenals are always down. So you're always going to have the anxiety bump. You're going to have the neural bump with that. Whether it's asthma or shortness of breath, can't take a deep breath, blah, 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 anxiety, da-da-da-da-da. And all kinds of depressive stuff. And, you know, because your glands are being suppressed, man. For some reason, I'm losing weight from body too. Well, what else comes with lymphatic stagnation, especially by the time you get up here in the cerebellum? Interstitially in the intestinal wall would yield you what? Yes, malabsorption. So no matter what you do, you waste away. See, all of this is happening to you, and you're only 20 years old. Young. One thing which I would like to mention is that sometimes my extremities are very cold, but core body temp is more this. This goes in hand with the rise in blood pressure. Yeah, you're affecting your thyroids and stuff like that. For sure. And you're going to affect all the endos, all of that. Then your vision, and then you lose your sense of smell, if you haven't already. Think about that. How many of you have already lost your sense of smell? How many of you can smell good? First of all, thank you for your time and videos and for the love you are sharing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you guys. Sometimes I get a little passionate and carried away here, but you know, the bottom line is when you guys learn all this, you've got it. It's fun. You'll be able to tell someone like the cerebellum involvement. Because anything from the cerebellum, mastoid here, ears, equilibrium, dizzy, vertigo, lightheadedness, feels like you're on a roller coaster. Then it can affect the spine going down. Then you can start getting dropped legs, feet, you know, that sort of thing. But also the adrenals are involved. Of course, that attacks the kidneys. And of course, this all is the lymph system. All right? So now we see this, right? All right, so this is very important. So now we've got lymph backed up all in the head. We're seeing equilibrium, dizzy. What would be... Now, let's say that you're moving toward MS, Lou Gehrig's, or Parkinson's. What is the one thing that these folks generally always have? And you're feeling either the beginning, or you already have them, or it's pulling your attention to that area. Brain lesions. Brain lesions. That's why. That's acids ripping on the neurons. So this is why. Upper circ and brain and nerve. You can use upper and lower circulation if you don't have any tumors, and then go right after it. Go right after your kidneys. Get them to filter. Because this is very serious, believe it or not. Very serious. Right now, he's just feeling blood pressure going up and down, a little on a roller coaster. But this will start escalating, my dear one, and just nothing good. Nothing good comes with this problem right here. I think this is a female. Amandine? I don't know. I am deeply thankful for the information you are sharing, and I hope to be able to help. Oh, good. Yes. Help me convince my husband, female, that it is the only way to cure my son's dermatographism. Wait a minute. Let me read on here. My son has dermatographism, whatever the hell that is. I know thanks to your videos that it might be an immune system reaction. Could you tell me more, please? All right, so you're the mom, I take it, and I'm talking to a female here. Honey, not good. You want to take care of this. MS is high in females. You want to take care of this, and you've got a son. Oh, you got to take care of this baby here, because what you're seeing is heavy lymph stagnation with your son, right? You're seeing all the skin, you're seeing all the inflammation of the skin, right? So where did he get it from? He's in you. You had him in you for so long, and I'm going to throw a $100 bill. You're not filtering, and he wasn't filtering either. So this is serious stuff right here, guys. This is a serious case. The mama's got to detox herself. The baby's got to detox himself. She's got to go after the baby's endocrine glands and fix this baby up. I'd highly recommend pictures of the eyes, and everybody look at the eyes. The husband needs to review this video, because when you start building up this way, and for the wife here, this can be very serious with MS and stuff like this. I'm telling you, this is typical precursor stuff. Typical, guys. Been in the field 50 years. So just want to tell you, be awake, be aware. This needs to be dealt with, honey, now. And be realizing that your baby lived inside of you, and when your husband realizes the truth of the lymph system and the fact that you're not filtering, your baby's not filtering. Where's your baby filtering to? He's hooked to your systems. So that's why you see, we've talked a lot about this, about the lymph systems and mamas carrying babies and mamas who are not filtering. And this is very serious. The chances, of course, the dad comes in with the genetics. Let me read a little more here that I left out. I am 100% convinced in applying a full fruit veggie diet. Forget the veggies. Forget the veggies right now. You want to handle this. You want to handle this. Cold compresses to the back of the... When you're taking a shower, get there hot and cold. Have your husband work on the neurolymphatics. Have him get proactive. Let him understand you're in trouble. Raw as much as possible. You want to jump into this. This is very serious. I'm dead serious about this. But my husband is too addicted to meat and dairy. Let him eat the meat and dairy, honey. You got a serious issue here, because once this stuff gets more involved, if I could just show you some of the cases we've been through, you would put your attention 100% on this right now. He also refuses that our son eat this way at 100%. Yeah, too bad. A lot of ignorant males out there. And we cannot impose a diet at his daycare. Well, all I can see is be watchful. Because when your son starts having symptoms, then ask your husband what he wants to do about them. You see, husbands kind of get that way because they're the acid side until they get in and find that there's a tumor or cancer, and then they go into chemo. And now husbands start to panic because they've been taught enough by their wives that they realize they're about to lose their son. I'm going to tell you, a lot of males are waking up to some very serious things. A lot of males have taken their family into these areas because of their hard-headedness, their stubbornness, and their maleness. This is why we need the female principle to start getting their warriorness back. You are the love and the controllers of this world. Believe it or not, men don't realize how women, And we cannot, too bad at a daycare. That's the place you want them to eat better. That's a place a daycare should struggle to teach the children to eat better and teach the parents who bring their children better. We live in a highly ignorant world right now. Breakfast are fruit, snacks are dried fruits, plus that's good. Fresh fruit, sometimes dinner are fruits too, because my son is now addicted to fresh fruit. Because kids love fruits. Help me convince my husband that it's the only way to cure my son's dermatographism. I have to look that up. That's a new one on me. But it's enough to say. your son coming out of you and your husband has some serious problems, particularly you, because this symptom you're telling me you have is something you have to put your attention on. And husband, you better let her, because this, when she gets more involved with this, it'll be more dizzy, more vertigo, then drop foot, and then you're going to get the diagnosis. And if you wait to get brain lesions in there, I mean, they're not difficult to get out, but let me tell you something, then you have to be perfect, because you can't get less of a diet under fruit and save yourself. I can just tell you, this sort of thing. This is when husbands have to get real, and this is the time when you, the wife, has to tell your husband, I'm my own person, and I'm going to do what I want on myself. And whatever you work out with the kid, you work out with the kid. But remember, if your child works into MS or anything like that, I mean, this is the time to fix the babies. And husband, you have to wake up. It's the meat in your lifestyle that's killed everybody and made everybody sick. Because you choose to eat it, you choose to eat it. I'm a male too, and I'm a farm boy, and I grew up eating that. Why we're always sick. That's why we work with pro bodybuilders and teaching them the proper ways to eat, because they're all getting extreme arthritis, extreme acidosis, losing their tissues. I mean, it's in our face. It's all in our faces. Greetings, Dr. Morse. I just discovered you on YouTube a couple of months ago. I have watched some of your videos and just blown away by all the awesome info. Thanks. Well, if we get you all up to speed, you will all be like this. You won't have to wait 3 days to determine if someone had a stroke or not. And in 3 days, you're having them on their way out of it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This poor lady's sitting there. They're bringing her meat. They're bringing her all kinds of things. It's like, more acid ash foods in a post-stroke scenario. Right. I mean, it is, you guys are the premier healers. Learn all you can from us. I've had 50 years almost, and a lot of clients throughout the world. And then we have our 3 practitioners here now, and they're knocking them out. So we get to watch 3 times more. And then all of you guys and all you local distributors, your LDs, and so many of you like Shane, Jonathan up in Canada, you guys are knocking out some of these tough friggin' cases, Jonathan. Amazing. And Shane, you too. And I'm proud of you guys. I mean, you guys are winning the day. So husband, these are just people off YouTube that just got it. And they're out curing people of everything. Shane just cured up this one. What'd she have? Like psoriasis or eczema, head to toe, just like the Miss Philippines. Cleaned her right up. Tumors, cancer. Just amazing stuff. I'm proud of all of you guys. It's not difficult when you understand the truth of it. Kick back, get rid of what you think you know about truth in the body. Get rid of that and get ready to learn some fun stuff. How the lymphatics and how the body gets rid of its waste. Remember, kitchen, bathroom stuff, simple stuff. I am a 43-year-old female, and I was in a car accident. Rear-ended by a drunk driver over 2 years ago. Ouch. I still suffer from upper back pain, but the main problem is the MRI scan shows I have a nerve sheath tumor. Nerve sheath tumor on my cervical spine between C3 and C4. I don't like that. On left side. All right, so left side, left kidney, right? All right. It's right next to the vertebrae artery. That's why you could pull that out with black salve if you wanted. I don't think it would be any problem with that. Put just a little bit of a black salve right over that area. You want to get the Indian black salve. You don't want Amazon black salve. What a bunch of crap. You want to get a good black salve, but you could put a little bit less than a dime. Just like the end of an eraser of a pencil right on that area, and it'll pull that out. But you have to do this other anyway. Fix this. What's up? When you're in trauma like that and you're slow to heal, or you start to see from the trauma maybe tumors and stuff like that develop, what system are you having trouble with? Not the blood, because all those cells would have been dead, right? That only leaves one more. A rocket scientist, it only leaves one more, the lymphatic system. And that's a system of acids. So you can see when that system is agglomerated, there's no healing, because it keeps acidosis within the tissues. And of course, when lymph isn't moving well, then tumors are formed because you're agglomerated. So I would open this up and get it out the proper way, because you have to, who knows what else you've got on this side anyway. You could have other tumors, you don't know. And so you want to get your kidneys filtering. Real important. Get your kidneys filtering. And go back to this. Oh, I was up all night. So much. I'm getting the classes ready. We got a big class coming. Actually, we got 2 classes in one. We've got heavy protocols, and then I'm going to teach you the eye and how you read the eye, but how you write protocols just from, if you didn't know anything about anybody, what am I looking at an eye? How can I write a protocol? What am I seeing? That puts you guys up there, premier healers of the world. Actually, of a lot of worlds, to be honest with you. But, all right. So, but you definitely want this out of there. So you have 2 choices. One, a little bit of black salve, close, away from the artery, close, let it pull that out, or do it the right way. And I would do it the right way first. If you couldn't get that out, genetic weakness and stuff like that kept you, or the lymph node deteriorated or whatever, you couldn't get that out, obviously pull it with a black salve. But you're just going to form another and another and another. When you have agglomeration and you're at the point of forming tumors, there's no stopping that until you hydrate and get that out of you. Remember the little boy I told you about, 12 years old up there in New York or somewhere? He came in, he had 30-some tumors by the time he got to me. He was about 11 or 12, sit right here in the front of my desk like this. And I said, I need you on fruit diet. Can you do it? I am right in his face like this. I'm talking to him, eye to eye. I need you to eat nothing but fruit, son. Can you do this? I'm dead serious. I'll get all of them out if you listen to me. He said, Doc, I'll do whatever you tell me if I don't have to have another surgery. Remember I said he had, I forget how many surgeries this kid have had already, well over 12, 15, bunches of surgeries to cut out the tumors. Well, you can fix the system that they're involved in, the lymphatic system. That's what they are. And the kidneys are the main players. The kidneys and adrenals, main players. Skin, of course, skin and thyroid. Skin and thyroid, kidneys and adrenals, main players. Main players. And there's only one way to get remedy with that. So I'd highly advise you go to put yourself on a grape diet. Number one, you need to bring hydration to your body. First of all, you need to work on the kidney filtration. Do some 24, 36-hour dry fast. You want to get filtration because you've got to get this side opened up. Then all the inflammation, all the damage, all the cells that have been damaged can then go to the lymph nodes and be taken care of properly. And then everything will heal, and then everything will rebuild, and you'll be in perfect shape. But when you have trauma like that and you notice that you're not healing well, there's only one system you address. It isn't the blood system. It isn't the vascular system. That's always working, or death is imminent to those tissues or to you. So that's not the system. You can aggressively drive more blood in an area by using the circulatory formulas and dilating and yes. But the number one system that cleans, immune, that protects you, the lymphatic system. And it is much bigger than the blood system. Remember, 80% versus 20% of interstitial fluid. Got to tell you, that's a big difference. So it's a big system, and for a modality not to even slightly understand that system, I don't get it. Anybody with half a brain that reads A and P, that looks at the human body that much, should get it. But remember, when your mind is being trained by those that want to train them the way they want to train them, hence books and the type of academics they want you to read, then you're totally conditioned the way they want you to be conditioned. That's why reading books and going to school isn't always the answer. That's how you get your A, B, C, D, E, F, G's, or your 1, 2, 3's, but not how you get truth. You're the living truth, each and every one of you. All the answers is within you anyway. That's where I got mine. Wasn't in books. This information isn't on the planet yet, remember? Now, it's my neurosurgeon suggested I do stereotactic radiation. Oh! Whoa! 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 Yeah, we can do radiation right there on the spine and right there where that artery is. Oh yeah, we can just break down that little basement wall of the connective tissue. Oh yeah, and then you could herniate or aneurysm. Oh yeah, we can do all kinds of things like that. Or we can learn the truth of it and get this out through the lymph system the right way, because the tumor is growing close to the spinal cord. No kidding. But also close to everything else, guys. That's why only 2 ways to get that out. Not surgically, too close to everything. Black salve, draw it out, but you'll just grow another one, because you got to fix the system that's down. Make sense? But if you were in a stat emergency and you were losing neural function from it, I'd pull that freaking thing out with a black salve like yesterday. But until you're not, hit it the right way, because you got to do it anyway, or you're going to keep growing them. So you want to do it the right way. You want to get all the acids away from the spine anyway. He really doesn't want to do surgery because it's high. No kidding. The radiation oncologist told me it would be reasonable to wait another year to see if the tumor has grown. Thank you. Thank you. At least there's some reason within the insane. She said if I experience pain, numbness, or tingling, then they would discuss moving forward with radiation. And she's right. But we can get this out the opposite of the way it was formed. How do you get rid of tumors? The opposite of the way they were formed. Not radiation or chemo. She doesn't want to start treatment yet because of my age. Do you think? Because she knows exactly what's going to happen to you. And radiating up here, the C's, you're going to lose your saliva, you're going to use your voice box, you can cancer the voice box, you can cancer the thyroid, you can lose your parathyroids, I can't even tell you. There's no such thing as friendly radiation or 3D radiation. No such thing. They tell you there is. Oh, yeah? Yeah, liars, because we have the clients to show you. Yeah, not just our word. We have the clients to show you. Oh, they told me it was 3D when they shot radiation in my eye and it wouldn't affect my brain, and now I'm full of brain cancer. And the other oncologist said, oh, no, they lied to you. That's what we get. We get the medical doctor's patients after they lied, after they've done their stuff, and they're running for help. And they come here and we get to hear the stories. That's where we get our information, from the people themselves. She indicated to me how sometimes radiation can trigger new cancer growth. Oh, really? This is a good oncologist. It's a female. So she's being truthful in her way, obviously. She's being truthful in her way. I love this one. So I have to hand it to her. She's being truthful. She indicated to me how sometimes radiation can trigger new cancer growth years later. You can hold radiation in your body like you do acids. Acids make you hold everything in. Agglomulation, acidosis, even radiation. And then, of course, burn back to the cell. Oh my God, are usually slow-growing but benign tumors. Oh, Schwannomas. Numbness. I say bananamos. Yep. She thinks I should wait. I don't want radiation or surgery. My question is, since this is a nerve sheath tumor originating from nerve root, would the treatment be different from what you recommend from a regular tumor? No, because it's a lymph system. Neurons can't form tumors, they're cells. And myelin sheath cells. The only way you can form a tumor is through the lymph system, guys. It's the only place. It's the only fluid-based system. Read what a tumor is. It's the only place you can. But you have lymph and blood vessels everywhere, because every cell is required to have kitchen and bathroom privileges, right? Right. Because if you're a cell and you don't have kitchen or bathroom privileges, pretty much not going to make it. Would the treatment be different than for a regular tumor? If so, what do you recommend? I had an arachnoid cyst in my brain 3 years ago. Honey, you're in trouble. You really are lymphatically in trouble, sweetheart. You really want to dig into this. You got to make health your passion. You want to put your whole attention on getting yourself well, detoxing, get the kidneys filtering, getting these tumors out of you, honey. Cysts, tumors, I don't care what you call them. You everybody watch Dr. Pimple Popper? Oh, I love her. Dr. Pimple Popper. That's a new show on TV. Dr. Pimple Popper. And This guy came in with this big cyst on the left knee. You see that one the other night? Big cyst on the knee. She wasn't sure what it was, so she just said, well, let's numb it up and cut it open. Did you see that one? Well, let's just say when she cut it, it ended up being about this big and nothing but cottage cheese. Just cottage cheese was flowing out of it. Cottage cheese. Anybody know what system cottage cheese comes from? Putrefactive, narcissistic, stinky, nasty crap. Not blood. Only one other system. That wasn't water coming out. Ugh. Boy, was he happy. Boy. Oh, God. You ought to have seen the crap coming out of that cyst. She called it a cyst. I wouldn't have. I think a cyst has more clear liquid. This was like a friggin' tumor to me. This was just what a tumor's full of right there. She called it a cyst, and I'm saying, honey, I don't think that's a cyst. I think you just cut open a tumor. Just like you had a big bowl of cottage cheese, except it was more liquid. And, of course, the smell wasn't the same. So you can imagine, this is the lymph system. This is sewage, and most of the high-protein eaters out there, sewage is what? Putrefactive. Of course, you got the carbon fermentative side, so you got two things. You got the fungus and the bacteria involvement. Well, they're just hungry. I'd say you're in trouble. You want to get your body detoxified el pronto. I also have a lipoma on the right shoulder, which is a lipid tumor. So she's having trouble, but you're agglomerated. You're highly acidic, dear one. I had it for years. I'm 5'5", 165 pounds. So we're a little on the heavy side, aren't we, honey? Well, you're 5'5", so with all the brain tumors or cysts and all this stuff, we're going to go with the pituitary, obviously. 5'5", you're overweight, so probably got a little thyroid and adrenals going on if you're that much overweight. I have a hard time losing weight, even though I exercise and sit in a sauna 4 or 5 days a week. Well, what you eating? See, when you're having a hard time with the adrenal glands, you're going to have a hard time with nutrition and utilizing chemistry. And one of the chemistries that is hard to utilize is blood sugars. And if you're complexing sugars, and in terms of dyes or polys, you're going to see fat come on. And then, of course, thyroid controls your rate of metabolism, the rate of digestion. So when you have a low thyroid, you sit there and you can have a half a meal and feel full. Or if you have hyperthyroid, bring me another plate. Bring me another plate. I'm still hungry. Could you bring me another one? That's hyper. So, in your hair analysis, you're either a fast oxidizer, we call that, or a slow oxidizer, which would be your thyroid. And, of course, that's going to create weight problems, too, especially when you're consuming complex chemistry, like your complex carbons and nitrogens, which is your starches and your proteins. I also get bloated and stomach aches often. Yeah, you need to put yourself on a 20-day grape diet like now. If you want a week to work up to it, then I would do fruit in the morning, a salad at lunch, and fruit at night, and then get rid of the salads. You really want to get your kidneys filtering and get this moving. You've got way too much going on up here. Whoa, way too much. I can see why you didn't heal from that trauma. You have trauma from trauma. You have trauma from your own world. You really want to get honking on this, sweetheart. Oh, yeah. And get away from any foods. Get a great proper food combinations. Just give a simple diet of grapes. And you could have sulfur and vitamin. Get a picture of your eyes, guys. For the last 2 months, I have gradually decreased meat and increased fruits and vegetables. I don't think I'd be gradually doing this since you're in big time trouble. Tumor on the spine and a cyst in the brain. What do you want to be, a quadriplegic? Because that's where you're going. I mean, surgery in the C-spine, not a real fun thing. And You know, you're looking at quads being up in that hour, C3, C4. Quad, honey. No. A lot of quads are from tumors like that. This is a time for you to get real and get this out. Thank you so much. Glad I read this one. Holy crap. And you guys, if you know anybody like these people, you got to tell them up for providing us all with very helpful and useful information. Oh, this is E. Davis. Well, get this out. Get this out. This is. I don't care what your disciplines are or anything else. This is the time when you muster all the discipline you can, right? You muster all the discipline you can, and this is your world. This is your world, and let me tell you, your world is not funny in a wheelchair, and you're getting like this, and you can't talk anymore, and you're awake. But you can't get through. Not good. Okay, and so fix yourself before you get there, and then have that the driving factor. You know, a lot of people, I'm bad at that too. I wait till something happens, and I let that be my motivating factor. And it's like, nah, I don't think so. These are serious enough cases, you know, where we have to deal with this. It's 12 o'clock, and so what I'm going to do is take a lunch break and come back, and I don't know if I'll be back today. I'm going to try. I know I got 2 videos last week. I had all good intentions, but this last couple of months, I've had some things going on that's kept me very busy. And so then we had the school and all that stuff, so it's been kind of one of those.
Straight.
Yes, very busy.
No.
Not anymore, because now we're working on these, yes?
Yes.
Love you guys. You're doing well. I appreciate each and every one of you. This is your world. You muster up the self-discipline because it's your body, your experience, your husband, your wife, your children. Nobody is going to experience the things that you experience. This is your ride through creation. You might pick another soul with you while you're going for a while. You might bring a whole family of souls with you. That's oftentimes the case. But there's times where these are all going to drop away. And it's just you driving your car down the road. And if you start to see your bodies in trouble, you've got to fix them. You know, you got to fix ego, you got to fix overthinking, you got to fix desires, negative thinking and feelings, and you've got to fix the physical body. Because you want to wake up and have a fun time driving down the road. Enjoy the view, but be free from what you see. You've already seen a lot. For those that understand my words, you've already been here a long time. So time to wake up, help the planet get itself straightened around, and off we go. Right? And then there's plenty of other places to go. So love you guys and have fun with this. It's, don't make this like, oh, I got to tack. This is not something you don't want to look forward to. This is something you want to go, I want to have fun, because you get crap out of you, nasty stuff out of you, you feel better, all the mucus, you get to feel lightheaded, the body, you feel good, energy, all kinds of things. Love making is better. Everything is better. Namaste, may the blessings be, and go forth and conquer. Mm-hmm.